We're going to call public service to order this morning, and I'm so glad to see such a big full room, and we hope that you enjoy your time in public service. Members, please sign in if you have not. Clerk, please open the roll. Clerk, please take the roll.
Madam Chair, you have 6 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any, do any of our members wish to be recognized for personal orders today? Seeing none, we'll get into our regular calendar. We have several bills that we've been requested to roll, so we'll go through those for our committee's information. A little housekeeping here. So item number 5, House Bill 2216 has been rolled for 2 weeks. Item number 6, House Bill 1919 has been rolled for 2 weeks also. House Bill 9, item number 9, House Bill 1911 has also been rolled for 2 weeks. Item number 11, House Bill 13, House Bill 2462 has been rolled for 3 weeks. So now that brings us to item number 1, House Bill 1634 by Representative Scarborough. We have a motion and a second. There are no amendments. So Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. This bill is going to be talking about the Multi-Agency Law Enforcement Training Center. This legislation authorizes the Commission of General Services to commission the director of the Multi-Agency Law Enforcement Training Academy and the Multi-Agency Law Enforcement Training Academy staff as law enforcement officers to ensure they effectively carry out their official duties. It also allows the Department of General Services to operate a retail store on the campus, offering merchandise such as apparel and miscellaneous items, and grants the department authority to collect fees for services provided at faculty at the facility, including food, lodging, and facility usage. With that, I will stand by for questions.
Members, do we have any questions? We do. Representative McCalman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Sponsor Morrison, just a statement. Thank you for bringing the bill, and welcome back, sir.
Are there any more questions? Chairman Eldridge, did you have? Questions been called. And then we're ready to vote. So, Madam Clerk, would you please open the vote? All those in favor of voting, please, for this bill, please vote aye. Those opposed, please vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 6 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee. Next, we have item number 2, which is House Bill 2536 by Representative Hill. We have a motion and a second, and there are no amendments. And Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an administration bill for the Department of Finance and Administration, the Benefits Administration Division. And the Benefits Administration oversees the state insurance plan, the local education insurance plan, and the local government insurance plan. And each insurance plan has statutorily created committee that's named in the code. And what this legislation is seeking to do is remove special interest appointing authority from all 3 of those committees. And so pending any questions, seek passage.
Members, you've heard the explanation. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. So Clerk, would you please open the vote? Those in favor of this bill moving to full committee, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, Clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 5 ayes and 1 no.
The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee. Next up, we have item number 3, which is House Bill 519 by Representative Sapicki. We have a motion and a second. There is an amendment filed on this bill. Do we have a motion and a second on the amendment? Yeah. I have the drafting code. Oh, I see it. 009744 is the drafting code. And with no objections, we'll go ahead and put this amendment on the bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment goes on the bill. Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Members, this is a very simple bill. Over the summer, Senator Hensley and myself were approached by the Polk Association in Murray County about the James K. Polk home. The state historical commission wants to enter into negotiations with the Polk Association for the purchase of the James K. Polk home. The Historic Commission controls and owns most of the property that surrounds the James K. Polk home, and the Polk Association wants to make sure that going forward in perpetuity, that this will always be a museum commemorating James K. Polk, and both sides are amicable on this. We're just carrying the vehicle that allows that to happen. That's what we do, Madam Chairman.
Members, you heard the explanation. Are there any questions for our sponsor? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of, oh yes, clerk, please open the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. Has everyone voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 6 ayes and 0 noes.
Your bill moves on to full committee.
Thank you.
Next up is item number 4, which is House Bill 1813 by Representative Russell. We have a motion and a second, and there is an amendment filed on the bill. Do we have a motion and a second for that? We do. If there's no objections, we'll go ahead and put the amendment on the bill to get it properly before us. Could you give us your drafting code?
Well, I could, but apparently it's not in here. I can tell you what the bill, as amended, does.
I have drafting code 013178.
Yep, that's what I got.
Is that it?
Yep.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment goes on the bill. So you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, House Bill 1813 will require the cost of autopsy performed by a county medical examiner to be paid by the state to the general fund when it's ordered by the district attorney general.
That's the explanation. And now, do we have any questions? Representative Warner?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, sponsor, for the bill. Could you explain now how currently that's working? Who's paying for it now?
You're recognized.
Currently, when the DA requests it, the county has to pay for it.
So this would take a burden off the county and I guess put it back to the state.
You're recognized. Yeah.
It will, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any more questions? If not, we're ready to vote. Clerk, please open the vote. Those in favor of this bill moving to full committee, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. Has everyone voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? Clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 6 ayes and 0 noes.
This bill moves on, the ayes have it, and this bill moves on to full committee. Items number 5 and 6 have been dealt with. This brings us to item number 7, House Bill 1531 by Representative Miller. Do we have a motion and a second? We do. There are no amendments filed, so Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
1531.
1530.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. House Bill 1531. If a current or former member of the General Assembly dies, the governor shall proclaim a statewide day of mourning and order the state flag to be flown at half-staff over the state capitol during such period of mourning. The governor is not required to take action under this section if the member or the former member has been convicted of a felony.
Do we have any questions for our sponsor? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Clerk, please open the vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 6 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes have it, and this bill moves on to full committee.
Thank you.
And next up, we have item number 8, which is also by Representative Miller, and it is House Bill 1532. We have a motion, we have a second, there are no amendments, and Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. This bill introduces legislation that would allow current and former legislators that have passed, give families the option to have them lay in state capitol. Also to petition the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the Speaker of the House to request loved one to lay in the state for an entire day.
I have a question.
Yes.
Say that again. It is for the, explain that again.
For a member or former member that passes, that upon the request of a family, the family could request from the governor or speakers
Okay.
that member could lie in state
Okay.
for a day.
Members, do we have any more questions? If not, are we ready to vote? So clerk, please open the vote. Those in favor of this bill moving forward, please vote aye, and those opposed, please vote no. Has everybody voted? And does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 6 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes have it, and this bill moves on to full committee.
Thank you, member.
Item number 10 is House Bill 1797 by Representative Lynn. Do we have a motion and a second on this? We do. There's no amendments. Oh, there is an amendment. So if there's no objections, we'll go ahead and put this amendment on the bill to get it properly before us. And Representative, would you give us your drafting number?
I have 013185.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Oh, I'm supposed to get a motion in a second. I'm going a little fast this morning. Motion in a second. We've got that. Now, please signify, if you're in favor of this, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And if you're opposed, please say no. Okay. The ayes have it, and the amendment goes on the bill. Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This bill extends the requirement in the Open Meetings Act of making agendas available to the public at least 48 hours before the meeting to include additional types of governing bodies. And the amendment makes it clear which types of governing bodies. Agendas are standard information that should be made available and legally need to be made available before meetings, especially for a government meeting. Many governing bodies already do this routinely, but some don't. The bill would expand the agenda requirement to school boards and to local governing bodies as defined by the Open Meeting Acts that also have the authority to make binding decisions and the ability to appropriate funds. So if there's a governing body that doesn't have that power, it won't apply to them. The bill does not apply to any nonprofit associations that are subject to the Open Meetings Act, and that's what the amendment did. It clarifies not nonprofits. Because this bill limits the expansion of the statutory agenda requirement to only those who can make binding decisions or appropriate funds, it will not sweep in community advisory boards that don't have that sort of authority. We do expect this to include governing bodies such as beer boards, convention center authorities, or even library boards, but only if those boards are already subject to the Open Meetings Act and have the ability to appropriate funds or make binding decisions. The governing bodies can fulfill this requirement by putting the agenda on their websites. If they have one, they must list on their agenda everything they plan to take action on, but they may change their agenda during the meeting as long as they follow their current rules or they make new rules that allow them to add things or take things off their agenda. The public deserves to know what its government is doing. And before they do, this adds another level of sunshine to the Sunshine Law. So, thank you.
Thank you for your explanation. And members, do we have any questions for our sponsor? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. So clerk, would you please open the vote? Those in favor of this bill moving to full committee, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. Has every member voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 6 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes have it, and this bill moves on to full committee. Next up is item number 11, which is House Bill 1499 by Representative Reed. We've got a motion and a second. There are no amendments, and Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. I need to go back in time, a little history lesson. 2014, when I was first elected here, worked with Senator Mike Bell and State Representative Sheila Butts on the resolution that created an Article 5 Convention of the States. Thereafter, all three of us attended a simulated convention in Colonial Williamsburg on how this would play out if and when our state was ever part of calling an Article 5 convention. Thereafter, shortly became the Fateful Delegate Act, which is currently in Tennessee law. What this bill does, it establishes the Article 5 Convention Advisory Committee, which will consist of 3 members, 1 state senator, 1 state representative, and 1 member of the General Assembly nominated by joint action, who will advise commissioners, and that's the change, is going from a delegate to a commissioner, who would advise commissioners on their proposed actions, authorizes the committee to hire staff and develop procedures as appropriate, authorizes the committee to report instances and determinations of a commissioner's exceeding their scope of authority, and to remove the commissioner from their role. Madam Chair, I stand for questions.
Before we take questions from the members, we do have a request for testimony on this legislation. So without objections, we're going to go out of session to hear from Mr. Jay Walling and Ramona DeSalvo. Please come up and state your name and who you're with for the record, and you will have 5 minutes. We'll have 3 minutes of testimony. Mr. Walling, are you going to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, members of the committee, good morning.
Please state your name and who you're with for the record.
My name is Jay Walling of Hickson, Tennessee, House District 26, and I serve as Co-State Grassroots Coordinator for Convention of States.
Thank you.
A primary concern regarding an Article 5 convention for proposing amendments is how it would be governed. The answer lies in precedent and in the clear instructions provided by each state. In 2014, Tennessee led the nation by enacting its Faithful Delegate Law, Tennessee Code Annotated 3-18-101, establishing guardrails for the selection, instruction, and oversight of delegates. Current law provides general guidance and requires additional joint resolution to establish convention rules and other necessary matters. It requires delegates or alternates to be at least 18 years old, registered voters, and Tennessee residents for at least 1 year prior to appointment. HB 1499 strengthens and clarifies these guardrails. Key enhancements to commissioner qualifications includes increasing the residency requirement from 1 to 5 years and the minimum age from 18 to 25. Prohibits individuals who have worked or contracted with the federal government within the past 10 years, except military. Prohibiting individuals with felony convictions or crimes of moral turpitude within the past 10 years. Prohibiting statewide office holders from serving except elected members of the General Assembly. Additional provisions require an odd number of commissioners to ensure majority decisions, mandates commissioner instructions to include one state, one vote, roll call voting, and consideration only of germane amendments at the convention. Prohibit alteration of constitutionally protected individual liberties, require a comprehensive oath, and impose gift restrictions, provide for selection of a chair and an advisory committee, require a resolution to attend the convention, provide compensation and per diem with no cost incurred unless a convention is called and attendance is approved. For these reasons, I respectfully ask for your support and a yes vote on HB 1499. Thank you.
Mr. Salvo?
Good morning. My name is Ramona DiSalvo. I am the State Director for Legislative Action for Convention of States Action, Tennessee. I live in Pleasant View, Cheatham County, and House District 78. We urge a yes vote on this proposed amendment to update our existing faithful delegate law, to call it a faithful commissioner law, to be more historically accurate in keeping with traditions of interstate conventions. As Representative Reedy mentioned, Senator Mark Norris had sponsored this bill back in 2014 after several states had passed resolutions calling for Article 5 conventions. On February 14th, 2016, Tennessee became the 5th state to pass a Convention of States resolution calling for an Article 5 amending convention. It's not a constitutional convention, but an amending convention only. Limited to discussing 3 topics: fiscal restraints, limiting the power and jurisdiction of the federal government, and term limits on federal officials, including the judiciary. 20 of the 34 requisite states have now called for an Article 5 convention, with Kansas being the 20th state that just passed this January 22nd, 2026. Further, 20 states also have now passed, 20 states have passed the identical resolution that we have in Tennessee. We started it back in 2016, and 15 more states have passed since then. But further, 20 other states have also passed similar faithful commissioner laws to what Tennessee has, clearly anticipating the inevitable convention. And 14 states are considering similar legislation this session. The single most often asked question I got when I was working on this resolution back in 2016 was, how will it work? It's not in the Constitution. Well, it's not in the Constitution because it's up to each state's governing body, that being you guys, the Tennessee General Assembly, to come up with the selection, instruction, and oversight for our commissioners who are agents of the state. And this bill sets forth that, enhances the selection, instruction, and oversight process in a more fulsome manner than what currently exists, as Mr. Walling described. Timing is important for Tennessee. Momentum is continuing as more states are calling for an Article 5 convention, and now is the best time to enact these changes so we're prepared when the inevitable amending convention occurs, rather than rushing something through at a less opportune legislative time, maybe 3 or 4 years from now. So Tennessee often leads in key legislation, and we would ask you to please lead again on this bill and just update and enhance our existing law and vote yes on HB 1499. Thank you.
I do believe we have a question from Representative McCalman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and certainly appreciate y'all coming out here to talk to it. I think the brilliance of the Constitution is that it should be hard to change, which I think makes me appreciate what y'all are doing even more. Just to speak to it, and you had mentioned how many states have these similar guardrails in place, and either one of you can answer.
20 states.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So
Sorry.
all 20 states have passed similar faithful commissioner/delegate rules.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? If not, we'll go back into session and we'll ask our sponsor, does he have any more comments?
I could not said it better, Madam Chair. I appreciate your attention to this matter. It is important to me, as well as the time that I've served here, that currently I have no use for the federal government, and hopefully they will finally get it together. If not, this is the way that we can twist the arm, if you will, to make them, acquiesce to our requests and the way that we treat our citizens, but as well as how Tennessee runs our government. That we are a good example for Washington, D.C., and maybe they could take some lessons.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for our sponsor? Question's been called on the bill, so we're ready to vote. Clerk, would you please open the vote? All those in favor of moving this bill to full committee, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. Has everyone voted? Does anyone want to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 5 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee. And thank you for your testimony here today. Up next, we have item number 12, which is House Bill 1254 by Representative Alexander. We have a motion and a second. Just a reminder of the current status. A reminder of the current status of this bill. We previously adopted Amendment 004836 and rolled the bill. There is a new amendment filed on this bill, but Representative, please give us your drafting code.
Yes, 013520. Okay,
That's not the drafting code I have. Would you repeat?
I've got
She's correct.
Okay.
013520.
Okay, that
Okay.
was not the one I haven't written.
Okay, there is
but-
also an untimely filed amendment,
Oh, okay.
but we will
Okay,
probably
okay.
wait in if I get it out of this committee,
Okay.
add it then. Okay.
Do we have a motion and a second on this? We do. And if there's no objections, we'll go ahead and put this amendment on the bill to get it properly before. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please signify by saying no. The ayes have it, and the amendment goes on your bill, and you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you. And if you remember committee, last year I brought you this bill concerning due process for our officers when they're being put on a Brady list. And what happened is I felt like we needed to do a lot of work on this bill. So with the help of the sheriffs and the chiefs, with the help of the DA conference, they came together and they have designed a program that would work well so that our officers all have to process before they get put on the Brady list. That's what this bill does.
Thank you for that explanation. And do we have any questions? We do. Representative Warner, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, sponsor. Sponsor, could you explain to us what the Brady bill does?
You're recognized. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're going. You're fine.
Chairman. A Brady letter, what it does is it is a list of compiled by a prosecuting agency containing the names and details of law enforcement officers who have sustained incidents of untruthfulness or criminal convictions, candor issues, or other issues that places an officer's credibility into question when they go into court. And so what this does is just sometimes officers get put on a Brady list and they don't know why. And they've not been told what they've done wrong. And they need to be able to explain their side of what happened in a situation. They are the only ones that do not have due process. And this will allow them to have it.
You're recognized.
Yeah. And I appreciate the explanation, and I definitely appreciate what our law enforcement officers do across the state. I tell these guys that we see up and down the halls, I appreciate them every day. But I want to read you the definition of the Brady List, an AI overview. A Brady List is a database maintained by prosecutors containing names of law enforcement officers with keywords here, documented histories of misconduct, such as dishonesty, excessive force, and bias that could undermine their credibility as a witness stemming from the 1963 Supreme Court case, Brady versus Maryland. These lists ensure prosecutors fulfill their constitutional obligation to disclose evidence to the defense. I guess my question is, if these officers have a history, a documented history of misconduct, why would we give them 10 extra days and allow them to maybe misconduct again?
You're recognized. Sorry, Chairman.
They don't even know sometimes that those things are documented, okay? And so they have a chance to go and find out, tell me what is written up about me, and have a chance to go before their boards and find out if those are actual things that they have done, and be able to tell their side of the story. Everybody deserves due process. So that's the whole point. And sometimes these prosecuting agencies have documented stuff that is not applicable to them being able to tell truth in a court case. So that's why the need for this bill. Our sheriffs and chief police across the state felt the need for this bill, as well as the DA's conference. So they came together and they worked hard to make a program where they go before. And doesn't mean that the Brady List is not important. It is important. And so we do want to make sure that we maintain the reputability of a Brady List. So that's the whole purpose in this.
You're recognized.
Yeah, and thank you for that response. So you mean to tell me we have things or incidents, or what the proper word to use here is, maybe false allegations or things going into officers' files that the officers don't even know about?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. That is correct. Sometimes.
You're recognized.
So is it a fair statement to say that these officers might not even have access to their personnel files?
You're recognized.
I would think they all would have access to their personal files.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions for our sponsor? Oh, Representative Salinas.
So can you just describe what type of board they would go in front of, who would make up that, and how you envision this law carrying out that portion of it?
You're recognized.
And I'll read this from my bill. The prosecuting agency that maintains a Brady List shall adopt a policy that must be sent to all law enforcement agencies in the district for comment before the policy is adopted. At a minimum, the policy must include the following: the criteria used by the prosecuting agency to place an officer's name on the Brady List, the officer's right to receive a written notice and a summary of the reasoning of the prosecuting agency before the prosecuting agency places the officer's name on the Brady List, and the officer's right to input the prosecuting agency before the prosecuting agency makes a determination of whether or not the name should be placed on a Brady List. Once it goes on a Brady List, their career's ruined. And so they have a right to be able to have due process for this. The officer's right to make a request for reconsideration of the prosecuting agency's determination to include the officer's name on the Brady List, and to supporting and corroborate collaborating documents and evidence in support of the officer's request for reconsideration. And also the applicable timeframe on when these procedures for notifying the officer of the prosecuting agency's final decision on an officer's request for reconsideration.
You're recognized.
Who's sending out the letters and who are the prosecuting agencies?
You're recognized.
Your DAs.
Do we have any more questions for our sponsor? We do. Chairman Eldridge.
Question on the bill.
Question's been called and we're ready to vote. Clerk, would you please open the vote? All in favor of this legislation, please signify by saying yes. Those opposed, no. Has everyone voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 5 ayes and 1 no.
The ayes have it and your bill moves on to full committee. Next up, we have item number 14, which is House Bill 2208 by Representative Ashley. We have a motion and a second, and there are no amendments. And so, Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. This bill is brought by the Tennessee Department of Treasury. This legislation authorizes the Tennessee OPEB Board of Trustee members to designate an individual to attend a board meeting and vote on their behalf, aligning the board structure with other boards within the state. That's simply what this bill does.
Thank you for that explanation. Do we have any questions for our sponsor? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? So, clerk, please open the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying yes. Those opposed, no. Has everyone voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, please take the vote.
Madam Chair, you have 5 ayes and 1 present not voting.
The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Next up is item number 15, House Bill 1907 by Representative McCallman. We have a motion. We have a second. There's no amendments filed, so Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this bill is brought by our treasurer. The legislation achieves compliance with federal requirements and improves administrative efficiencies. First, by clarifying methods for responding to subpoenas duces tecum, and I do not speak Latin, so if I pronounce that wrong, I am sorry. 2, refining the process for issuing final benefit payments. And 3, it extends the remedy for retirees that return to service without a bona fide separation. Madam Chair, members, with that explanation, I stand ready for questions.
You've heard the explanation. Do we have any comments or questions from our members? If not, we're ready to take the vote. So clerk, please open the vote. All those in favor of this legislation, please vote yes. Those opposed, no. Does anyone wish to change their vote? If not, clerk, would you please take the vote?
Madam Chair, you have 5 ayes and 1 no.
The ayes have it, and this legislation moves on to full committee.
Thank you, Chair Lady and Committee.
Without objection, I think we can adjourn this session of public service. We are adjourned.